Introduction. Parasyte is a science fiction horror anime that follows the story of high school student Shinichi Izumi, whose life is turned upside down when his right hand is taken over by an alien parasite named Migi. Together, they must learn to coexist while fighting against other dangerous parasites that threaten to destroy humanity. Plot. The story begins with the sudden appearance of alien parasites on Earth, who infiltrate human bodies by burrowing into their brains and taking over their personalities. Shinichi is able to fend off the parasite that tries to take over his brain by trapping it in his hand, resulting in him being forced to coexist with Migi, who cannot survive independently. Episode 1. Metamorphosis. The episode begins with a mysterious object crashing into Earth and releasing parasites that enter the bodies of humans, taking control of their brains and transforming them into monstrous creatures. Shinichi Izumi, a high school student, wakes up to find a parasite trying to enter his brain through his ear. He manages to stop it by trapping it in his right hand. The parasite, which he names Migi, is initially hostile towards Shinichi, but they eventually form a symbiotic relationship and agree to work together to survive in a world where parasites are hunting down humans. Episode 2. Demon in the Flesh. Shinichi and Migi encounter a new parasite that has taken over the body of a high school teacher, Mr. A. The parasite, which is more intelligent than others, is able to maintain the appearance and behavior of its host, making it difficult to detect. However, Shinichi and Migi become suspicious of Mr. A's behavior and investigate further. They eventually confront the parasite and engage in a battle, which results in the death of Mr. A and the exposure of the parasite's true nature to the rest of the class. The episode ends with Shinichi reflecting on the fact that he is no longer completely human and wondering what the future holds for him and Migi. Episode 3. Symposium. Shinichi and Migi attend a symposium on parasites, where they meet a scientist named Tamiya Ryoko, who is secretly a parasite herself. Tamiya is able to maintain her human form and emotions, and she becomes interested in Shinichi and Migi's unique relationship. Meanwhile, a group of parasites are organizing a plan to take over the city and establish a new order. Episode 4. Disheveled Hair. Shinichi and his friend Murano are attacked by a parasite disguised as a human. Shinichi is injured, but Migi saves his life by creating a new heart for him. The incident leads to a confrontation between Shinichi and a group of parasites who are planning to take over the city. The leader of the group, Tamiya Ryoko, intervenes and stops the attack, revealing herself as a parasite to Shinichi. She tells him that she has developed emotions and a sense of morality, and she asks for his help in protecting her unborn child, which is a half-human, half-parasite hybrid. Shinichi agrees to help her, but he is torn between his duty to protect humans and his friendship with Migi. Episode 5. The Stranger. Shinichi and Migi encounter a new parasite named Kana, who is able to sense their presence and becomes obsessed with finding them. Kana develops feelings for Shinichi and tries to use her abilities to get closer to him, but he rejects her advances. Meanwhile, a group of parasites are targeting the mayor of the city and attempt to take over his body. Shinichi and Migi intervene and are able to prevent the takeover, but they also learn that there are more parasites than they originally thought. Episode 6. The Sun Also Rises. Shinichi and Migi encounter a new parasite who has taken over the body of a young boy. The parasite, who is named Gotu, is much stronger than any they have encountered before, and is able to regenerate its body even after being injured. Shinichi and Migi try to fight back, but they are no match for Gotu's strength. The episode ends with Shinichi realizing that he needs to become stronger if he wants to protect himself and those he cares about from the parasites. Episode 7. A Dark Night's Passing. Shinichi and Migi encounter a group of parasites who are trying to kill humans by releasing toxic gas into the city. Shinichi is able to stop them, but he realizes that he needs to become stronger if he wants to protect himself and others from the parasites. He begins to train and work out in order to improve his physical abilities. Episode 8. Freezing Point. Shinichi's father becomes involved in a car accident and is taken to a hospital. There, he encounters a parasite who has taken over the body of a doctor. The parasite is able to use its abilities to heal Shinichi's father's injuries, but Shinichi becomes suspicious of the doctor's behavior. He and Migi investigate further and discover the parasite's true nature. Episode 9: Beyond Good and Evil. Shinichi and Migi encounter a group of parasites who are targeting humans for food. The leader of the group is revealed to be a former human who has completely merged with his parasite. The group has also been experimenting on other parasites, trying to create a more powerful and intelligent form. Shinichi and Migi engage in a battle with the group, and Shinichi is able to defeat the leader by merging with Migi and using his enhanced abilities. Episode 10: What Mad Universe. Shinichi and Migi are confronted by a new parasite who has taken over the body of a famous musician. The parasite is able to manipulate sound waves and use them as a weapon. Shinichi and Migi try to stop him, but they are caught off guard by his abilities. However, Shinichi is able to use his own voice to counter the parasite's attacks and defeat him. The episode ends with Shinichi realizing that there may be more powerful and intelligent parasites out there, and he wonders if he will be able to protect himself and those he cares about. Episode 11: The Bluebird. Shinichi and Migi encounter a young girl named Kana, who has the ability to sense parasites. Kana becomes obsessed with finding them and tries to use her abilities to get closer to Shinichi. However, her obsession puts her in danger when she encounters a powerful parasite who is able to manipulate his host's body to become nearly invulnerable. Episode 12: Heart. Shinichi and Migi investigate a series of murders that seem to be committed by a parasite. They eventually discover that the murderer is actually a human who has merged with his parasite, and they try to stop him before he kills again. Meanwhile, Shinichi's relationship with Murano becomes strained as he struggles to balance his responsibilities as a human and as a defender against parasites. Episode 13: Hello Sadness. Shinichi and Migi encounter a young boy named Kanao, who has also merged with a parasite. Kanao is able to communicate with his parasite and maintain his own personality, but he is also hunted by other parasites who view him as a threat. Shinichi and Migi try to protect Kanao and his family, but they are also pursued by a powerful and intelligent parasite named Tamiya Reiko, who is interested in the existence of the hybrid beings. Episode 14: The Selfish Gene. Shinichi and Migi encounter Tamiya Reiko, who has taken over the body of a pregnant woman. Tamiya gives birth to a child who is half human and half parasite, and she decides to raise the child on her own. Meanwhile, Shinichi's father becomes increasingly suspicious of his behavior, and Shinichi begins to fear that his secret may be exposed. Episode 15: Something Wicked This Way Comes. Shinichi and Migi encounter a new parasite who is able to manipulate the electromagnetic spectrum. The parasite uses his abilities to manipulate technology and cause chaos in the city. Shinichi and Migi try to stop him, but they are caught off guard when the parasite is able to create a powerful electromagnetic pulse that disables Migi. Shinichi is forced to confront the parasite alone and use his own ingenuity to defeat him. Episode 16: Happy Family. Shinichi and Migi encounter a family of parasites who have taken over the bodies of a father, mother, and daughter. The family is able to maintain their normal lives by feeding on small animals, but they become suspicious of Shinichi and Migi and try to hunt them down. Shinichi and Migi are forced to fight back, and the battle leads to a tragic outcome. Episode 17: The Adventure of the Dying Detective. Shinichi and Migi encounter a new parasite who has taken over the body of a detective. The parasite is able to control his host's body to an extreme degree, and he uses his abilities to manipulate the police and hunt down other parasites. Shinichi and Migi try to stop him, but they are caught off guard when the detective is able to create a powerful explosion that injures them both. Episode 18: More Than Human. Shinichi and Migi encounter a group of humans who have learned about the existence of parasites and are trying to exterminate them. The group is led by a man named Gotu, who is revealed to be a powerful and intelligent parasite who has taken over multiple bodies. Shinichi and Migi try to stop Gotu, but they are outmatched and forced to flee. Episode 19: In Cold Blood. Shinichi and Migi encounter Tamiya Reiko again, who has taken on a new form that is more parasitic in nature. Tamiya has also become obsessed with the idea of reproducing with Shinichi in order to create a new species. Meanwhile, Shinichi's father becomes increasingly involved in the investigation of the parasites, and he begins to uncover the truth about Shinichi's true nature. Episode 20: Crime and Punishment. Shinichi's father confronts him about his true nature, and the two have a heated argument. Meanwhile, Goto continues to hunt down and kill other parasites, and he becomes more and more powerful as he merges with other bodies. Shinichi and Migi try to come up with a plan to stop Goto, but they are forced to face the fact that he may be too powerful for them to defeat. Episode 21: Six and Spirit. Shinichi and Migi encounter a parasite who has taken over the body of a famous model. The parasite is able to manipulate her body to create a perfect image, but she becomes obsessed with the idea of transcending her physical form and becoming a pure spirit. Meanwhile, Goto continues to hunt down other parasites, and he begins to close in on Shinichi and Migi. Episode 22: Quiescence and Awakening. Shinichi and Migi face off against Goto in a final battle. They are able to hold their own against him, but they are eventually overwhelmed by his sheer power. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, a new player enters the game and changes the course of the battle. Episode 23: Life and Vows. Shinichi and Migi work together with the new player to take down Goto once and for all. The battle is intense and brutal, but Shinichi is able to use his own humanity to his advantage and defeat the powerful parasite. In the aftermath, Shinichi and Migi make a vow to each other to continue fighting against parasites and protecting humanity. In episode 24, the final episode of the series, we see the aftermath of the battle with Goto and the end of the parasite threat. Shinichi is hailed as a hero for his role in saving humanity and is finally able to reunite with his girlfriend, Satomi. However, he is left with a sense of emptiness and loss, having sacrificed his own humanity and relationships along the way. As Shinichi tries to adjust to his new life, he realizes that Migi is slowly losing his powers and will eventually die. This leads to a heart-wrenching scene where Shinichi says goodbye to his former enemy-turned-friend, who had helped him survive in the world of parasites. The episode concludes with Shinichi reflecting on his experiences and questioning the nature of humanity and morality. He acknowledges that even though the parasites were not human, they were still living beings with their own desires and needs. The series ends on a thought-provoking note, leaving viewers with much to contemplate about the meaning of life and our place in the universe.